That's us recording now. So, I said to Garbo, like, I don't really have that much, and honestly, I've got a lot on my plate today, so it's like, do you want to just do, like, a nice wee short video? And Garbo just laughed at me.
Cool, because it's true. Like, okay, literally, so I was like, all right, me, you, fucking 5-minute adventure, in and out, easy done. Like, 4 hours later, it's like, and the video's finally done. All right.
You'd be surprised at the amount I actually edit down from videos, if I be honest with you. Megan always...
Oh, no, I'm surprised at all. Because we see some pretty outlandish shit in our videos.
Yeah. You know what? I was wanting to say, thingy, Black Lodge Games launched their Kickstarter, so it did, and it's doing pretty well. Some very Black Lodge Games. Have you seen them, guys?
Oh, yeah.
The your ginger fella and Latman, although I've only ever spoken to your ginger fella, so I don't know if Latman's like the correct term. It's just I've seen people call him Latman, but I think he's like
really.
Yeah, I think he's embraced it. I don't know what his name is, if I be honest with you.
Point finger, Ratman. Hey.
I think he's embraced it at this point, so it's all good. But I will say I backed their Kickstarter, but I sent them a copy of The Bastard Princess, and they never looked at it. So you know, I'm still disappointed, man. Just putting that out there, you know. Just putting that out there, you know. I sent them a copy, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll try and get around to it. It's like, all right, no sweat. It's like, to be fair, people send me stuff all the time, and like I never get around to reviewing any of it. If I be honest with you, like I feel bad because people keep sending me stuff. I actually got stuff from I showed you Garbo, didn't I?
Which one?
The one from Free League Press. They sent us the Lord of the Rings stuff.
Oh yeah. I'm like,
it's like,
should we review it? You're like, I don't know, I might get mad at us.
Yeah, well, that's the problem. Like, you see, what I don't mind doing like indie reviews and stuff, because like indie reviews and stuff, people are okay with like saying, well, I like this, I like that, but like this I'm not overly fussed on, you know what I mean? But when it comes to like actual company reviews, they'll just blacklist you. You know what I mean?
Well, you saw how one guy was reviewing Wizards of the Coast's new book.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to say it. That's what I wanted to talk about as well. You know, as I said, I don't really want to talk about Wizards unless it's something mega happening. And you know what? That the whole thing is I think it's embarrassing, frankly, on Wizards' part. Look, if you're still playing 5e at this point, have a look at some other systems.
Who hurt you?
yeah, I just enjoy the pain at this point. It's like, nah, I'm going to keep playing this. It's like, oh god, I wouldn't recommend it. But if this is the way they're treating people, that and they give them the books that they did. I think they were giving them out Gen Con to like a handful of people, you know, and. Did you get a strike on the channel over that? It's like, come on. Don't be silly.
Like he got a copyright strike on this channel for reviewing the goddamn book that gave him to review. It's so stupid.
Now, they did retract it, but I don't think they would never have retracted if there wasn't a fuss on Twitter.
Literally, they got set on fire for, hey, you pricks, and like, okay, I guess we'll walk it back. Like, it's like, but you know what they want? They're like, no, you can't. Only review, no show. Like, what the fuck do you want from him, dude?
I have no idea. But anyway, look, this is what I want to talk about. Strange link between board games and autism may finally be explained. Thingy posted this into my Discord. I was like, all right, okay, this looks pretty interesting. So I just sent it to Garbo. And I haven't opened it up yet.
I read the first sentence. I'm already fucking checking out. God, okay. So this is a article written on Science Alert. It's supposed to be a science-based article.
I love science.
Tests and such. However, it says the first word is anecdotal. Like
anecdotal. Like
anecdotal literally means not necessarily true or reliable. Like,
okay.
You can't start off your science article with the single word anecdotal as the first fucking word.
I mean, like, honestly, I could back that up. I think anyone could watch this could back that up. If you're not, if you don't have autism in your RPG group, there's going to be someone who definitely does. And even if they're not diagnosed with it, you can smell it off them. You know,
instead of playing like Secret Hillary, playing Secret Autist.
Yeah, group. Like, you know, I'm just putting it out here. There has to be a link. There has to be a link between the two, because it just isn't impossible otherwise. So let's jump into this article. Let's see.
So anecdotal evidence suggests
suggests that.
Well, so anecdotal evidence suggests those with autism tend to. Next post, Jesus. All right, hold on. Fresh start.
You're boring me.
Anecdotal evidence suggests those with autism tend to enjoy board games more than most, and now 2 new studies identify some reasons why this might be the case. The team behind the research from the University of Plymouth on Edge Hill University in the UK conducted 5 separate analyses to examine how popular board games are in people.
What? Who is this put through like a translator or something?
I don't. Well, it's from England, so maybe start out in Arabic with the. No, I'm sorry. Is that too soon?
Yeah,
too soon?
yeah. You know, I did talk about it on Gumroad. I did. Me and Megan did do a video talking about it on.
Did Abdullah write this? That's crazy.
Like next, like just keep going. This is already turning
Are
into a
in
disaster.
people with autism spectrum disorder and the kind of experience they offer. Board game enthusiasts are more prevalent than those with ASD, they found. In a survey of 1,603 players, 7% were autistic, though autistic people account for approximately 1% of the population as a whole.
That's ridiculous. It has to be higher. It's minimum 30%.
This the fucker's lying. No. I'm not autistic. I'm just weird.
Yeah, no, someone's lying here. What would you say?
She was like 27% autistic, probably. That's 7.
Yeah, I'm going up. In minimum, it's 30. Minimum.
Those goddamn sleeper cell autists are hiding their power level.
Yeah, they are. It is people hiding their power level. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Now,
I shall not be outed.
No, there's only like 7% are actually. It's like, how bad is it?
How bad is it?
Are we talking about people that are like on the extreme wacky end of the spectrum, or are we talking about just like people that are slightly sparky, that aren't good at keeping eye contact and talking to people?
I just love Star Wars. Asperger's. What?
Yeah. Well, no. What's the one? What's the one about Star Trek? Do you remember that one?
Which one?
Oh, there was a study they did in Australia, and it turned out 100% of people that were convicted for any form of like sexual abuse or something like that were all Star Trek fans.
The West has fallen, obviously.
To be fair, that's an old one that was actually from like 10 years ago. So I remember reading that. I was like,
Star Trek turned my son gay. I was hunting pigeons naked in the fucking park. It's like,
Right. What do they have to say?
All right. So, in further interviews with people with ASD, the researchers found that these games help relieve social anxiety, which experience at higher rates in those who have autism than in the general population. There's a rigid structure to proceedings with less need to make small talk. I mean, what? The games are full. Okay. We know that board games are a safe and valuable hobby to many people with autism. Have you not seen a single game of 40K? Nothing safe about that shit, bro. Like, the amount of times I've seen like card players get into fucking like fist fights is like there's nothing safe about.
It happens. It just happens. It's the way it is. Okay.
Says psychologist Gray Atherton from the University of Plymouth. What this research established was why that's the case, and we really want to use the findings to conduct future work. The games played included Codenames.
Big Codenames.
Dixit.
Codenames great, by the way, guys.
Really?
Yeah, also I would really recommend anyone to play it. It's honestly a really fun wee game, so it is. Although I've never played it online. I might try and run it like online. I'll need to see if like you can do it on tabletop simulator or something.
On your Roll20, give you like so much.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm in too deep. You know what it's like.
I'm in too deep.
No, I am in too deep. You know the problem is everyone that I know doesn't really use Photoshop. A lot of people I know use Canvas, and from what I've seen with Canvas, it's honestly at this point might be better than Photoshop. But I've invested too much time learning how to use Photoshop at this point. I'm not going back.
You're a slave to the man.
Yeah, I am, and that's the problem I've got with Roll20. I'm in too deep, guys. Okay, Garber, what software do you use that's clearly outdated that you should never touch, but you're in too deep?
That's a good question.
Yeah, like what are you using that
Well, like my main 3 are Audacity for recording, Clip Studio for drawing, and then DaVinci Resolve for editing. And you hated Resolve.
Yeah, I know DaVinci's trash, so it was honestly. You know what? That's another one that I probably shouldn't be using. I use Vegas, guys. I know, don't laugh at me.
Sony Vegas?
Well, it's not even Sony Vegas anymore. It's just called Vegas now, and it is appalling. But I started using it in 2016, 2017, and I'm in too deep, guys. I can't go back. I tried using DaVinci, and it took me easily 4 times longer than what it normally would take me to edit a video together. It was really bad, so it was, and even then I still made the hack of it.
It's still laggy.
Yeah, it still made the hack of it. It was bad. Anyway, look, what is this all about? So something about.
Alrighty, the games so basically include Dixit and One Night, Ultimate Werewolf, and Spyfall, yada yada. The rules and structure involved are both was stimulating and comforting for players, the authors report, based on interviews with hobbyist board gamers with an autism diagnosis. The researchers suggest it's more evidence of how autistic people immerse themselves in interests that provide a sense of achievement and predictability. Board games may represent, and well, that actually explains why fucking hardcore tournament players are so fucking autistic. Like, I like having control of everything. I don't like change. It's like, yeah, that checks out.
Honestly,
I still think that every hardcore tournament player they're all fucking autistic because they hate having control.
They have to be. Honestly, I honestly think tournament play is the worst aspect of 40k by such a big margin. It's unreal. It brings out the worst in people. All it is.
Well, because it's predictable. It is fucking predictable.
It's predictable. It's number crunching purely. It's very little. Honestly, I'm putting it out here right now. Very little in the way of tactics. I'm just going out and say, and there's going to be people arguing in the comments like, no, James, it's all about tactics. It's not.
Actually, sweaty. It's only butt tactics. I'll have you know.
No, when it comes to like high-end tournament play, it's very, very little in the way of tactics. Very little. In fact, I would say your wallet has a lot more to say about than your tactics ever will. If I be completely frank with you, maybe your army building tactics, maybe, but even then, let's be serious. Don't be ridiculous. It's
well, by that you mean like getting the most cheesiest fucking list you can.
Yeah.
Like, look at the fucking Eldar net list. It's fucking just boring. It's fucking boring.
It's on par with someone saying, I'm amazing at D&D 5e. I play a coffee lock, by the way, and I am actually very, very good at the game. It's like, don't be silly. Please.
What is the coffee lock? I don't understand.
You know what? Well, we get up the coffee lock because it's the ultimate example. Coffee lock.
The ultimate example of autism.
Coffee lock, 5e build. Explained.
The infamous coffee lock. There are few unanimously hated builds in 5e as the coffee lock. There are many different ways to build them. I will give them one since Xanathar's release I consider the best. Xanathar's the first issue. For those unaware of coffee lock, it's where all the problems cropped up, in my opinion. With a lot of the problems with D&D.
Yeah, not gonna lie, it was the start of it. Well, let's be serious, the start of it was actually whenever they redid Curse of Strahd, if I'd be honest with you, and when it was 2019 or really? So. Yeah, they decided, there was stuff in Curse of Strahd that was problematic, so they had to release it or whatever. I think that was my
But you do understand there's a beholder in the cover, and it doesn't change anything, but I'm sorry, it's just, those are the problems began.
Although I do think that there was a lot of stuff in Xanathar's Guide that was genuinely fun to play, whereas Tasha's Cauldron I thought was very, very dry and boring, if I'll be honest with you. I thought it was really boring.
Tasha's Cauldron?
Yeah, it came out like maybe...
I see the cover, I don't know what I'm looking at here.
It's the one with the witch on the front cover.
Oh, right. The one with the pointy hat.
And it had like, there was like tattoos and stuff, and there was like a rune.
Tasha's Cauldron of everything.
Yeah, it was kind of trash. I didn't enjoy that one. I was actually kind of excited for it whenever I first heard about it, and then I got my hands on it. I was like, I think that was the last 5e book I ever bought, so it was...
I don't understand why they feel the need to keep adding more goddamn subclasses when no one even uses half the fucking thing.
Yeah, well, that's true. Like,
27 subclasses. We're going to use 2 of them, though. It's like, Jesus.
Right.
All right, so back to coffee lock. But back to the epitome of gamer autism. Okay, for those unaware, a coffee lock has infinite spell slots level 5 and below. Edit. Going Warforged completely alleviates the biggest issue with this build in that they cannot get exhausted. This is achieved by having 3 levels Warlock and at least 2 levels Sorcerer. At this level, one can convert Warlock spell slots into sorcery points, then convert the sorcery points into temporary spell slots using the Sorcerer's Font of Magic. Temporary spell slots reset only on a long rest. Warlock spell slots regenerate on a short rest. The coffee lock then never long rests and simply accrues temporary spell slots by taking a short rest and converting the Warlock slots. The 3rd level Warlock's Pact of the Tome Eldritch of Invocation aspect of the moon specifically states the character never has to sleep again. The build with this is Warlock 3, Divine Soul, Sorcerer 7, Wizard 10. There's a slight catch with the coffee lock, and that it is an optional rule Xanathar's also released, which has a penalty not for lack of sleep, but for not long resting, giving exhaustion levels. The way to combat this is to take greater restoration and use it to cure yourself of exhaustion levels as they accrue, using spells to get your. This is this fucking.
Yeah,
this is the problem. This is the problem with D&D in a nutshell. It's that they don't think fucking anything through.
Yeah, I swear to God. You know what? I know this video is not going to be garden about wizards. It's not going to be garden about wizards. We already talked about wizards at the start.
But only autists will find this shit, and it completely breaks a game.
I think, I don't know, Don't get me wrong. I can completely understand why. I think, honestly, to me, World of Warcraft syndrome. I completely think it's World of Warcraft syndrome, where everything has to be best in slot, and I think that is what caused a lot of these issues.
Actually, you have a point, because I hated having to deal with best in slot people. Like, you should use this, because everyone uses it. Well, I don't want to use that fucking thing. Yeah. Well, it's the best. You got to use it. Like, jeez.
Yeah.
This makes everything boring.
Well, don't get me, like, what turned it off for me, so the last time I played WoW, seriously, was I played Classic, so I did, and I got a warrior. It was an orc warrior, the whole way up to, he got completely best in slot, and because I got to just the point where I was just leading, it got to the point where I had to lead spec, and pretty much I just didn't want to lead spec because I really enjoyed PvP and stuff, and honestly I really liked the way my character was playing. Like, genuinely, I just really enjoyed the way my character was playing, but I had to lead spec if I wanted to keep on that. And honestly, leads just aren't fun in World of Warcraft. I like dungeons, see 5-man dungeons. I love that
dungeons,
shit.
yeah.
I could do that all day. So I could see the idea of leads all the time. It's such a nightmare. It's it's not fun. It's really not. And see,
like 20 plus people trying to coordinate as one dude fucking mauling over the mic over the smallest thing.
And then and you say to them, it's like, just don't stand in the, just don't stand over here. That's all you got to do. And someone always stands, and it's like, come on, guys, we've done this how many times now?
17 times.
Yeah, like I'm really begging you guys. Just all you guys got to do.
This is your 6 to the core. Have you not learned this shit yet? Don't stand the fucking fire.
Yeah, it's so bad. Oh, you know what? Like, I don't even want to think about it. Let's get back to the whole thing with autism. Yeah, well, okay. I've got an idea for what we can do after we finish this article.
All right. So let's see here. Board games may represent an area of both challenge and strength for autistic individuals, author wrote in one published paper. The researchers also looked at small groups of autistic people as they played board games over single sessions or years of play, discovering benefits in terms of building independence and confidence among the players, as well as helping to forge social relationships, something that can be difficult for those with ASD. Everyone with autism is unique, and we want to try and ensure any interventions could be adapted as needed for those who might benefit. Intervention. In future, the researchers would like to investigate in more detail the boost in well-being that board games can provide for those with autism. They're structured and predictable, but they shouldn't be predictable, and help strengthen social bonds through well-defined frameworks. We're also using our research to support adapting existing games for people with autism to make their gameplay even more accessible and enjoyable, says first author, psychologist Liam Cross from the University of Plymouth.
No, that's like the worst thing you can possibly do.
Joke.
They like them the way they are. They're enjoying them the way they are. No, just stop.
Is that why some games with more random, random aspects fucking tweak the shit out of fucking internet autists?
I think honestly it could be. You know what? Actually, that's a good point.
Because they're like, there's too much randomness. It's like, why? Like, because a lot of guys they like OSR yada yada or some games or they like 40K or hardcore tournament play games because there's no predictability. Like you play was it Warforged?
No.
Hold on. Shit. What's the game called? Fuck. 40K alternative.
You talking about one page goals? Are you on about?
No. Fucking. It's a war game. Fuck. What's it called? Is it? Shit. It's gonna make me. Oh God. It was like the best example of RPS gameplay. War Machine. War Machine.
Oh, War Machine. No,
War Machine and Warlords.
Yeah. Who the fuck is that anymore? That got killed.
Well, no. Exactly. But it died because there was no predictability. It was RPS gameplay, and like I watched a tournament one day, one of the last tournaments, and it was literally like a guy went, "Okay, what's your list? Here's my list. Okay, you win," and they didn't even play the game.
What? Nah.
Yeah, they said, you know what, we're good. You win. I literally cannot beat you. And not a single dice was rolled. And it may be a point that a lot of the guys who like these RPGs that are very predictable and they get all fucking flustered and butthurt ones that are more randomized, they might just be fucking autistic.
I would say probably yes. I would say yeah. Now, don't get me wrong, I do believe when it comes to a lot of people screaming online, I do think, especially when it comes to like the terminally online types, there has to be a degree of mental illness.
For sure.
I'm just putting that out there, but again, I think that's just because I've interacted with so many people that are severely terminally online that I don't have a lot of faith in people a lot of the time. Like, honest to God, I really am at that point where if I see someone, if I come across someone who I disagree with, I just assume that they're acting in bad faith. I really do. I don't even assume. I think that they're lying to themselves about their opinion. I don't believe their opinion at all at this point. I think they're just trying. I honestly see them as like just trying to subvert. That's honestly where I'm at this point. Maybe he's like, no, James, you're just being paranoid. No, they're not Alphabet Agency assets. No, these are just people with different opinions on you. It's like, don't be silly. Of course, these are agents of the state that come to the MIT.
Agents of the state.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
there are some times you can tell, like, oh, you're just being a retard on purpose. Gotcha. Like, you just kind of know off the bat. Because, like, I don't want to use logic. I just want to make you angry.
Yeah, you
okay,
are going to get that. You're going to get that a lot. You will get that a lot.
Are you tired of overreaching and overbearing censorship on important and non-important issues? Well, you're in luck. For just $7.50 a month, you can get access to over 60 hours of completely uncensored and unhinged schizo takes from Megan and James. Us.
I mean, look, it's 60 hours at the minute. Every week we do a minimum of like 3 hours.
Yep.
So, you know.
You get a lot of content.
There's a lot on there.
A lot of content. Ranging from... or even... yes, they are that spicy. Even the name of the topic must be censored. We can't even promote it on YouTube. You can stream or download all the videos from Gumroad and cancel your membership at any time. Though new videos every week on average come to 2 to 3 hours long, so we can really go in depth on any topic, and we are not strangled by the YouTube algorithm.
That's a big issue I always find.
Yeah. We can be open and uncensored and not have to worry about any of that.
If you want to talk about a subject, YouTube really promotes, you're going to have to get that done in 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. But on this, we can really take our time and really delve into it.
And most weeks we do bonus off-topic videos. And yes, we even have a teaser video you can download for free from neckbeardia.co.uk. In it, we talk about Northern Ireland for 4.5 hours.
I don't even think we scratched the surface.
No,
guys.
it's to try and help you understand who we are as people, our worldview, and how we can kind of be aliens to most people. If any of that sounds good to you, go ahead, links down below, and let's get back to the video.
Right, let's keep going. What else do they have to say? Is that
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. It's a popular hobby, and want to shed more light because these kind of guys who go D&D is therapy, and it's like, oh, get away from me.
Right. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I do think role-playing, like I think tabletop games, just in general, like war games, card games, all this sort of stuff, all board games. I do think it is genuinely great. I think it's one of the best things you can get into if you're not good at social interactions. Because as they say, you know, it creates a form of play almost. You don't need to worry about small talk, something that is like the devil to a lot of people. You know what I mean? That's like, you know, small talk.
To the autistic. So how about that weather? Shut up, Greg.
Yeah, like, you know, I'm not cut out for small talk, if I'll be honest with you guys. Like, you know, people start talking to me and it's like, yeah, what do you think about the lease war in the UK at the minute? Like, you know, that's not really play conversation, is it? You know what I mean? It's not really something you can bring up all that much or talk about. So, like, yeah, honestly, I do agree. I think, honestly, I see, is there any downsides for people to not get into tabletop games? Straight up.
Any downsides?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, it's another way to play with friends. And there are no downsides to playing a simple board game or a war game or something of that nature. Like me and my stepdaughter and my wife, we play the Harry Potter fucking deck building game. Every weekend because it's fun. And like, you know, the board games. The stigma around board games for a long time was there were the normie board games like Sorry or Trouble and all that other shit. Then there were like the more nerdy games like Magic the Gathering or D&D. And you're seeing that defined line become more and more blurred as time goes on, which is good in my opinion. You know, there should be a fucking demarc line between board game types.
I do definitely think, like, for me personally, like I was never an outdoorsy kid. I was never like in. I just
no.
I know, Garbu. You know what? It was actually horrible. See the amount of times I got dragged fucking camping and stuff, or like going like kayaking and all, like in canoeing and all that. I'm not even joking. I think it did nothing but put me off all that sort of stuff more because I had to do it. You know what I mean? It's like, why are you upset?
They made me touch grass. I hated it.
No, I think it's because I had to do it. You know what I mean? And then they always get upset with me. It's like, well, why do you not enjoy it? It's like, I don't. I'm not good at, you know what I mean? I don't like all
There's
this
no
sort of
computer games out here, bro.
well, you know, and I think that is partially why I think I do enjoy a lot of like these sort of things. That and also, I live in Northern Ireland. It's leaning all the time. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't mind the lean. It's alright. Like, you know, it's something that if you live here, you just have to get over yourself. Like, he's like, I don't like the lean. It's like, well, that's too bad, mate. that's just too bad. That's like living, like, where would it be? Like living in like Arizona and being, I don't like the heat. It's like, well, you know, you're just gonna have to live with that, mate. I don't know what else to say to you. But honestly, I think there is something in it for me anyway. Like, I know I was never an outdoorsy kid, and I think the more and more that I had to do it, the more I disliked it. Whereas I was always kind of interested in board games and stuff, and I always had a big interest. Although Megan won't play Monopoly with me. I do interest rates and stuff. I'm like,
oh no, I can't afford my rent. What will I do?
yeah, I had her like, well, you know what? If you can't afford this now, I'll tell you what. If you want, like, you owe me, let's just say, you owe me 200. I'll take 100 now. But you gotta give me 300 back in total, so you do, for your next 2 turns round when you pass.
Well,
go.
my wife talked to me, guys. It's been 3 months.
Yeah, Megan absolutely hates playing Monopoly. Like, she just refuses to play with me at this point. Like, you know, she really does. A lot of people don't like playing Monopoly with me. You know, the thing is, I'm good at it though. I'm genuinely, mate, I've got skills. I feel like I want to do a live stream, play like a Monopoly, just to bully everyone. Like, I'm genuine. I'm that confident in my abilities. I am the ultimate banker. You don't get me. I am the banker.
I am the ultimate merchant.
Yeah. Well, have you ever, you know what? Do you want to jump into, I'm going to link you this Garpco. I don't know if we can talk about it on YouTube at all.
Let's do it. You know what? Fuck, let's do it anyway. I'm so tired of being a good guy. I want to be a bad guy. I want to be a fucking villain so bad, dude. Let me be a villain. Let me be a villain.
All right, okay. Well, here you go. This is called the Hibernian Conspiracy. So do you want to open that up?
The Hibernian Conspiracy?
Yeah, open it up. Yeah, you click the page.
What?
The Golden
The Golden Country. Hibernian control the Federal Reserve.
Yeah.
Okay, let's fucking go.
This is why James is so good at Monopoly, right? Do you want to go in?
His inner gold barrel leprechaun's coming out. Ah, yes, I'll give you a loan. Only the 2 loans.
Oh, I don't know how much I can say. Right, just lead it, sure.
The insidious Hibernian worked his way to American finance to control the direction of the nation. Joseph W. McIntosh was comptroller of the currency from 1924 to 1928. He introduced the so-called McFadden Act, designed to bring the banks under Irish control.
Yeah.
James Francis Thaddeus O'Connor. Very Irish name there, sir.
O'Connor.
O'Connor. Was a United States federal judge. O'Connor was appointed comptroller of the currency by President Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1933 during the worst financial crisis of U.S. history. William Mackenzie Martin was the 9th and longest-serving chairman of the United States Federal Reserve Bank, serving from April 2nd, 1951 to January 31st, 1970, under 5 presidents. Harry Truman had expected McKinsey to bring the Fed into line with a national policy, but instead he guarded the Fed's power, not just through Truman's administration, but also through the 4 administrations that would follow. Over nearly 2 decades, Martin would achieve global recognition as a central banker. It also made him and his family obscenely rich. Thomas Bayard McCabe, a graduate of Swarthmore, served as the chairman of the Federal Reserve from 48 to 51. Edward W. Kelly Jr. was governor on the Federal Reserve Board. He was instrumental in preparing the Federal Reserve System for the Y2K to make sure the federal computer systems would keep running as the year. I remember this shit.
Yeah.
Be sure to turn the computers off. And from 1990 to 2000, I remember like we got cards in school to get to our parents to remind them to fucking turn the computers off if they had one. I
remember one of my aunties. She was like she really bought into it, like the Y2K thing. Like she was really like she was dead set that the world was going to end, like straight up. And then the next morning she was like, everything worked
it's Y2K.
Everything worked out fine. That was
Suspiciously, these preparations proved very useful in keeping the same systems running after the 2001 terrorist attacks.
Interesting.
To be sure. It's fucking.
To be sure.
The leprechaun.
Yeah.
You dirty Sassenach.
Yeah. Let's keep going. The whole
Yeah. The whole Celtic race is addicted to religious rituals, Consequently, those suffering from serious maladies are subject to the perils of battle, sacrifice human victims. Some weave huge figures of the wicker and fill their looms with humans who are then burned to death when the figures are set afire. They suppose that the gods prefer this execution to be applied to thieves, robbers, and other malefactors taken in the act, but in default of such, they resort to an execution of the innocent, Julius Caesar.
To be fair,
the Romans tried to save us, bro. They tried.
they tried. So the thing is, see when it comes to like the Romans talking about the Druids, it really depends. Sometimes they love them and sometimes they hate them. Like it's so all over the place. And also, like, honest to God, see when it comes to like the Romans talking about absolutely anyone, a lot of the stuff that they're writing is a form of propaganda for people back home. You know what I mean? A lot of, like, especially the stuff that Julius Caesar was writing, like, that was designed for publication. You know what I mean? So, like, just putting that out there. Just putting that out there. So what's this? Every year, the protocols of the Druidic elders of Hibernia.
Druidic elders. The protocols of the Druidic elders of Hibernia. Every year, the most powerful men in the country meet in the Grove Club, where they dress in robes and sacrifice a child in effigy before a giant Celtic owl god. If this sounds like the activity of a small, insignificant sect, think again. The Grove boasts such members as Richard Nixon, Ronald Reagan, George Bush Sr., George Bush Jr., and Bill Clinton. Notice something? All Irish. Coincidence? I think not. Pictured here is George Bush Jr. with his father, George Bush Sr., attending the Grove. An important part of the Druidic practice was passing the teachings of the gods down to one's son.
Yeah, what do you
Pictured
think?
here is...
What do you think?
What?
Like, a lot of people believe that Barbara Bush was a man, but the problem that
Barbara Bush.
Have you seen Barbara Bush?
Not in a while.
Okay, hold up. Let me just get it up. Barbara Bush. Like, just look at her for like a minute and just like
Well, like in her youth, she was, you know, attractive to some people. I'm assuming.
just
but
like open that picture that I just sent you.
Jesus.
Just look at that.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. And like you see her in her youth, she looks like a normal fucking woman.
The only thing that gets me about it is like George Bush Jr. looks so much like his mum and his dad at the same time. You know what I mean?
I think the main problem was I think she had like a testosterone problem, didn't she, or something?
Maybe, probably. She's broad. That's what I can tell you. Like she.
Well, she's very handsomely faced, where she has a very male face. So I think she might have had which most women's not a problem. You know, some women have a handsome face and they're fucking smoke shows. If you have high testosterone or too high testosterone, you start looking more and more manly, get hairier arms, that kind of shit.
Well, as
So
long as you don't look like Hulk Hogan with a fucking pussy. You know what I mean? Like.
Did you say Hulk Hogan with a pussy? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Thanks, Satan, for that mental image. Go on in and get it, brother. I'm good. All right, I'm call it.
Right, you know what? Will we keep going, or do you want to
Put your mustache in my mustache.
do you want to keep going with this? Yeah. So this explains why, in fact, I am so good at Monopoly. In fact, you know what? I challenge you all to Monopoly, and I guarantee you, I'm going to beat every single one of you. Like, I've just got skills when it comes to Monopoly, and it's got nothing to do with luck. I genuinely am just better than everyone at Monopoly. I'm that good. People.
The internal banker rises strong.
I am that good that multiple people have just stood up from the table and marched away and went for things like "fuck you, G." I've had multiple people rage quit on me with Monopoly.
See, in my dad's house, if me or the major or anyone else's military in my household plays Risk, oh dude, the fucking fangs come out. It's not even funny.
I've tried.
Like, we take Risk. Like, Risk is a very serious game in family gatherings.
I'm just not all that fussed on Risk. I've played it a few times and I'm just like, it's alright, you know? I don't know. It's just one of those ones I never really got into all that much. You know what board game I really want to try? Pandemic. A lot of people bang on about Pandemic, so they do.
It's a little too soon in it. I mean, we just barely got out of the worst fucking infection mankind's ever seen, or something.
No, I don't know. Like, to be fair, the sales went up. I was playing Pandemic, the phone game, so I was for a fair bit. Whenever.
Oh yeah, where you name your disease McDingle fart and it kills the world.
I mean, like, if you're not starting in like India or China, are you even playing? You know what I mean? Like just.
Bro, I always laugh at how in India your disease spreads so quickly.
I know. I know. I've tried to experiment, like doing it in different places, but it's just so much easier in India. Like India and China, it's just easy mode, so it is. It really is. Anyway, look, I think, is that where we're gonna wrap up for today? Like, there's not really much to be said. We kind of just like, it isn't really a weird it's not really a podcast. It was like, because we covered like a couple different subjects.
We gotta drag some fucking normies onto our ramblings and see how they last.
Yeah, well, we'll find out and see what happens. Is there anything else worth bringing up? Yeah, so Black Lodge Games does have a Kickstarter, so like, that's something to check out. The only thing is, like, I went on to it and I've actually kind of been following it a wee bit, and I was looking at it. Hold on, I'll get it up here for you, Garbu.
See, and I was watching them for a while because I'll watch them on X. I like watching the shit get slowly kicked around. Because I believe it's called the Shackled Oyster, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that. So it is.
Yeah.
But the only problem that I've got with it is they don't do they only do delivery in the US, and it's like, why? So I just went for the PDF, so I did personally. But I don't know, it looked kind of interesting, so it did. I like the idea. The concept seems pretty good, like, for like a brothel, essentially. So,
well, the entire game is based around a brothel, which is pretty brave of them to do, because people are like, oh, sex, ooh, they're like, ooh, it's bad, and people don't really want to focus on it, and they have like the list of fucking hookers in the fucking building and all that, so yeah. They went full meme, which I can really appreciate, Yeah. And I love how they did this simple little game, the Shucked Oysters, and it's a little module you can attach to whatever game you're doing. You can basically take this book and attach it to any game. Hey, look, you found the Shucked Oyster. You're like, oh, you can go over there. And it's funny how they stirred up so many goddamn mice in the field by walking through the corn.
Yeah.
it's something else, dude.
But like,
yes.
Although I will say, I sent these guys fucking the PDF for the Bastard Princess, and they didn't fucking do my game, so fuck them guys. Fuck you guys, alright? You know what?
Fuck you, Shucked. Your oyster should not be shucked on my channel.
You know what I mean? So fuck you guys. And they did not. I said to them, oh, are you guys going to add Fleece Johnson, the booty warrior? And they're like, no, man, it's your game. You just add. No. Why are you telling me you've made a brothel themed supplement, and you're not putting in a booty warrior? Nah, you see, that's.
I like you and I want you.
Nah, you see that. He got out of jail there recently, Fleece Johnson.
So no one's as safe. Great.
Maybe let me see.
Ain't no one's booty safe now.
Fleece Johnson release from jail.
For Tears, it's not all that bad.
Mate, he got released in 2015. What?
He's been amongst us the entire time.
Mate, he's been out of jail for over 10 years.
He's making a list. He's checking it twice. Gonna find out whose booty is nice.
What? That's bad. What was he in jail for? Fleece Johnson.
Probably ass rape, motherfucking wager.
Reason for...
Call me crazy.
The Booty Warrior is based on real life a man named Fleece Johnson, who served for robbery in 1979, was incarcerated in Kentucky State Penitentiary.
Ass robbery.
Yeah. Go calabush.
You see, he stole my ass's virginity. I'll sentence you to robbery in the once first degree.
Yeah. Anyway, look, I think that's where we're gonna. Is there anything else you want to bring up, Garbu? No. Also, you know what? How many people in your RPG group have the TISM?
My group?
Yeah.
Like the wargaming or RPG?
Either or. Okay, the amount of people that you play with, what percentage of them do you think have the TISM?
It's a hard 50%, my guy. It has to be.
At least minimum.
They'll do small things. I'm like, that was odd. I know there's one guy, he eats his pizza upside down. I'm like, you are definitely fucking autistic. I just knew at the bat.
You know what? That makes sense. I get it.
Which proves that you're autistic.
No, because it actually makes sense though. Like why is all the toppings and all the good stuff on the top away from your tongue?
So it won't fall the fuck off, James.
No, but honestly, that they need to be gluing it on better. You need extra gooey cheese or some shit.
Gluing it on better.
Yeah, you need better cheese to hold that. You need a binder.
Can I have more Elmer glue in my pizza, please?
Can I get a binding agent, please, to keep my pizza together? The weird thing is,
have more of the Elmer glue, mozzarella. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say for me, everyone that I've played with, every single person that I've played role-playing games with, or war games or anything, I'm gonna say about 30 maybe 40% that have definitely got the tism.
That seems too low. It's. I mean,
maybe
anytime you go into a game store, it's gonna be at least half. At least half those fuckers are gonna be fucking autistic.
I don't know, man. Maybe
Do you guys like the Roman Empire? That one's autistic. On the corner, I see you.
Roman Empire's bowling, okay? You're missing out. You don't know what you're talking about.
Bowling?
Yeah, you're missing out. You just don't get it, man. Caesar's my god, okay? You wouldn't get it. You wouldn't know about the glory of Rome, okay?
I should mention that fucking the Fatal 2 the Fatal 2 guys in my fucking Discord now.
Lilith Cohen, or whatever you call them.
Yeah, Lilith. Yeah. I was like, oh my god. And unfortunately, my fucking guys were feeding her new fucking item ideas that were abhorrent.
Not bad. Honestly, to be fair, that Fatal 2 had some really solid magic items. I will give them that, but honestly, their system was just far too clunky for my liking. It was just, I could.
But sir, it's magical Caesar who cannot die. He's the emperor in real life.
I've got no idea who is Fatal aimed at, because it's so clunky. It's like, let me add sex mechanics to GURPS. You know what I mean? Like, it's not even as well. It's not even well designed. Like GURPS, you can at least attest. Like, this is actually really well put together. Like, everything makes sense. It does add up. Whereas Fatal, or at least the first Fatal, it's like this is just a fucking mess. Anyway, look, I don't know where else to go with this, guys. Do you want to say anything, Gerpu, before we wrap up?
Living is pain.
Yeah. Okay. Look, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Remember, like, comment, subscribe, all that good shit. We'll see you next time.